Alec Baldwin facing involuntary manslaughter charges for the shooting on a movie set. The actor is reacting to charges that could carry prison time. Kim.
Well, it's quiet right now on Exact Track 40 radar as we get a brief break from the rain, but more is headed our way and a little light snow shower activity. The forecast coming up.
She said snow. All right, it's an international art battle, and it's playing out right here in Detroit. Today's court fight over who really owns this Van Gogh painting. Megan.
As the prices for eggs continue to rise, it might be tempting to get a few of these in your backyard. But tonight, we show you what you need to consider first.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. Welcome to First at 4. I'm Karen Drew. We start this afternoon with your forewarned weather. Our meteorologists are tracking another round of rain about to move through Metro Detroit. The folks over at Campus Martius even decided to close the ice rink today because of the conditions outside. Kim Adams is here to track the very latest on what is ahead. Hey, Kim.
Hey, well, if we had some sunshine, it would be a glorious afternoon because it is warm with temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. It's dry right now here in Metro Detroit, but as we look down to our south, there are a few rain showers moving up through parts of northwest Ohio, central Ohio right now under a severe thunderstorm watch. Can you believe that? But that's for central Ohio. Just to our south, you can see the heaviest thunderstorms are below the Michigan border. And then wrapping behind this is some colder air and some snow up north. So here's what we expect here in Metro Detroit over the next several hours. At 6 o'clock, especially the southern counties will have a little bit of that rain. Might still hear the rumble of thunder, but that severe weather stays just to our south as temperatures drop down into the upper 30s by midnight. And then maybe just a little bit of light snow overnight tonight. No accumulation, but definitely colder by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. If you want to keep up to date on the interactive radar, you can get it right in the palm of your hand just by going to your favorite app store, type in WDIV, and download the Forewarned Weather app.
A Plymouth woman found dead in a car today. Investigators are asking for help to find her killer. The 50-year-old woman was found dead in a parking lot in Pittsfield Township. Police found multiple bullet holes in the car on Plaza Drive near Airport Boulevard. Police say this was likely not a random act, and they don't believe there is any threat to the public, but they are asking anyone with information to please give them a call. Well, we'll have to wait a while longer to learn what will happen to a Van Gogh artwork on display at the DIA. This is the piece of art in question that is the subject of an international battle. A Brazilian art collector claims the painting belongs to him. He says it was stolen, and he wants the DIA to turn it over to him. The DIA says federal law prevents it from turning over foreign artworks. Today, the issue was in federal court. A judge strongly encouraged both sides to work it out before he issues a ruling. The written order is expected soon. And we have breaking news from the U.S. Supreme Court. The High Court says it has not been able to identify who leaked a draft of the court's opinion overturning abortion rights. Chief Justice John Roberts ordered an investigation right after that leak. The draft opinion overturning Roe v. Wade was made public before justices were ready to release it. Investigators interviewed nearly 100 employees, and everyone denied it. Investigators don't believe these systems were improperly accessed by someone outside of the court. The investigation will continue. New here at 4, we are getting some reaction to the charges being filed against actor Alec Baldwin in the deadly shooting on a movie set. Baldwin was rehearsing a scene with a pistol when the gun went off, killing a cinematographer. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom with details on the accusations against Baldwin. Also a new statement from his attorney. Kim?
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon to you. The Oscar-nominated actor will be charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter for the shooting that killed Helena Hutchins. The armorer in charge of the weapons on the set, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, will also face those same charges. Hutchins was shot and killed 15 months ago during the filming of the movie Rust in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Baldwin was rehearsing with a pistol when the gun went off, killing Hutchins and wounding the film's director. Baldwin has maintained he did not pull the trigger, and there's been a lot of debate about why there was even live ammunition in the gun in the first place. Prosecutors say the evidence shows there was a pattern of criminal disregard for safety on the film set.
There was such a lack of safety and safety standards on that set that there were live rounds on set. They were mixed in with regular dummy rounds. Nobody was checking those, or at least they weren't checking them consistently. And then they somehow got loaded into a gun, handed off to Alec Baldwin. He didn't check it. He didn't do any of the things that he was supposed to do to make sure that he was safe or that anyone around him was safe. And then he pointed the gun at Helena Hutchins and he pulled the trigger.
Alec Baldwin's attorney is reacting to the charges. He writes, quote, "This decision distorts Hutchins's tragic death and represents a terrible miscarriage of justice. Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the movie set." End quote. "We will fight these charges and we will win." Hutchins's family says they support the prosecutor's decision to seek criminal charges. The district attorney says she will formally file the charges before the end of the month. Involuntary manslaughter, by the way, normally carries a prison sentence of 18 months, but a firearm enhancement on the charges could make it a mandatory 5 years in prison. So, Karen, much more to come when you join us for Local 4 News at 5. Until then, we'll send it back to you.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, Kim.
Sure thing.
U.S. officially hit its debt ceiling today, and now the Treasury Department is taking extraordinary measures to make sure that the nation can still pay its bills. You're taking a live look at Capitol Hill. The debt ceiling is established by Congress, and it is the maximum amount of federal money can borrow. Right now, it is more than $31 trillion. If it is breached and no deal is reached to raise it, the U.S. will eventually start to default on loans, and that could impact Social Security payments, veterans benefits, as well as the pay of federal employees. The Treasury Department can take measures to give Congress and President Biden until June to come up with an agreement, but there is no deal on the table.
I think the important thing to remember is that America must never default on its debt. It never has and never will. But we'll end up in some kind of negotiation with the administration over what are the circumstances or conditions under which the debt ceiling be raised.
This is just a simple thing that Congress needs to do. They've done it over and over again.
To keep the government open, the Treasury Department is putting a hold on contributions for government workers' retirement and health care funds. President Biden just landed in California, where he is visiting areas impacted by those weeks of rain. The president is stopping in Santa Clara and Santa Cruz counties along the state's central coast. That's where recent storms caused floods and landslides. He's meeting with lawmakers and first responders to see what kind of federal support is needed there. There is the silver lining to all of these storms. For the first time in almost 3 years, California is no longer considered to be in an extreme drought. We do have an update now on the health of First Lady Jill Biden. You may recall she had that eye surgery last week to remove 3 lesions. They were found during a routine skin cancer screening. The First Lady's doctor now says a lesion that was removed from her eyelid was not cancerous. Her doctor says she is recovering nicely from her surgeries. Well, there is no doubt you have noticed it when you went to the grocery store. Those egg prices are just soaring up near 60% in the last year. Now, it's because of a combination of the lingering bird flu outbreak, also a hike in the price of feed, fuel, and labor. So it has some people in Metro Detroit thinking about getting chickens for their yards. But as Megan Woods reports from Ferndale, there are some things to consider before taking that route.
We spoke to someone who doesn't have to pay those expensive prices for eggs because they have 6 chickens of their own. But they say that also comes with a price.
Hey everybody.
Trevor Johnson started raising chickens at the start of the pandemic because he wanted to know where his food was coming from.
30 eggs a week for a family that eats eggs every day. That's all the eggs you need.
Some may say he's living the dream right about now.
Food sovereignty story has me producing eggs for my mom and my aunt, and it's a very common joke. Now you're giving us gold.
It might be tempting for others to start the same hobby, but just know
it's not just as simple as I buy chickens, I get eggs.
Katie O'Kurt is a community food systems educator with MSU Extension and says over the last decade, more people have wanted to have more self-sustainability. But with backyard chickens, there are a few more steps to take.
First thing always is check your local regulations. Is it even legal for you to have chickens?
There's also the time and preparation that goes into not only getting the chicken to lay those eggs, but making sure they are safe to eat.
If I got chicks today, I wouldn't have eggs till June.
in some of the research I've read, lead in urban soils could be a potential contaminant that finds its way into your chicken eggs and can potentially impact vulnerable populations like your kids.
How much daylight a chicken gets is also a factor when it comes to making those eggs. So there's a lot to think about. This isn't to deter anyone from getting their own backyard chickens, but encouraging people to learn more before they make a major commitment like this. And MSU Extension is a great resource if you have any questions. I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Megan. By the way, the CDC is also warning of some health risks that come with owning chickens. Backyard poultry can carry salmonella. The CDC has a list of ways to stay safe, and we also have a link to that in Megan's story when you hit up clickondetroit.com.